Welcome to the 18th episode of the STEM Girls Virtual Space. We STEM community are proud to host yet another talk show of the year 2021. As people are gradually joining us, I would like to begin by emphasizing about the whole purpose of these talk shows that we do. So, STEM Girls Campaign and the Age Network works towards issues related to women empowerment in general, and especially those emphasizing on the education and motivating girls towards STEM education. During the talk show, I would request all our viewers to please mute their microphones. This talk show is being recorded and will be accessible on a YouTube channel by the name Age Network TV. All the queries will be taken at the end of the show, and I'll be doing some announcements as well. So, coming back to the talk show, women, as we know, are no less than any man in any field. We have seen several examples of women excelling in various STEM fields and serving the society for a larger cause. We at STEM basically aim at grooming our girls with the same kind of inspiration and a zeal at heart to excel in various STEM fields and do their best. With these thoughts in mind, I would now introduce the speaker of today's talk show, Dr. Oluwayemisi Alaba. She is a senior lecturer and head of unit, Economic and Financial Time Series Unit, Department of Statistics at University of Ibadan, Nigeria. She is a senior collaborator with University of Ibadan Laboratory for Interdisciplinary Statistical Ibadan Laboratory for Interdisciplinary Statistical Analysis. To her other accomplishments, she is also a member of International Statistical Institute (ISI) and Caucus for Women in Statistics. We welcome you, Dr. Alba. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and joining us today. Dr. Alba, am I audible?
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you are very much audible.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can
All
hear
right.
you.
Okay. I'm with you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Alba, today. So the first thing I would like to know from you is what is your field and why did you decide choosing on it?
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Once again, I want to say a big thank you to the organizers of this program for the opportunity to share some of my experiences with you. Um, the question you asked, you said that what is my field of interest? My field
Yes.
of interest is econometrics and applied statistics. Econometrics is from a word. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Econometrics is a word from two words. These two words are echo and metrics. So economic and measure. So when we are looking at statistical techniques or methods or mathematical models to look at economic problems, then we are talking of econometrics. Econometrics is an area in statistics where we use statistical techniques or mathematical models to solve economic problems. These economic problems can be in two forms. We can have the macroeconomic problem or microeconomic problem. Just from the word, the literary meaning of micro means small. So when you are looking at the small economic problems, maybe you are looking at the problems at the individual level, household level, then you are talking of microeconomic problem. But when you are looking at the macro problems, that means you are looking at national issues, issues such as gross domestic product, such as exchange rates. Like late last year in Nigeria, almost everybody was talking about the exchange rate is too high because a dollar then was being exchanged for as high as 500 naira. So these are national issues that affect everybody: unemployment, inflation rate, and so on and so forth. So an econometrician who is a specialist in econometrics deals with economic problems, the micro and the macroeconomic problems. So an econometrician solves both the micro and economic problems. Then, like I said, that another area which is broader is the applied statistics. That means that as a statistician, I can still use some methods or statistical techniques to solve maybe health problem, education problem, and so on and so forth. So it is not only limited to econometrics, but on the narrow sense, I'm an econometrician. Thank you. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am, that is very much fine. Ma'am, we would like to know why did you decided on choosing such a field?
Yeah, thank you. Mm, the motivation for um statistics, statistics is a course that when I was much younger, I never heard of it. But my passion for mathematics, which is a core subject in statistics, actually can be traced to when I was much younger. My older siblings, my parents engaged Ghanaian teachers to take them. So anytime the teacher was around, I'll just sit down and listen to how they were solving mathematical problems. But I never knew that a seed had already been sown in me. So when I wanted to go for my tertiary education, I actually had passion for economics. But because of my JAMB cutoff, I couldn't make the JAMB cutoff. So I was advised to change to statistics. So when I was advised to change to statistics, as a young girl, I had the mind that immediately after my first year, I'm still going to change to economics. So um, I started I started my courses in statistics. Then I borrowed other courses in economics. But after my first year, I just noticed that I have interest in statistics because we are talking of over 2 decades ago when there was no laptop, there was no desktop. And I saw that anytime I was using my calculator, for example, if you want to fit a regression line, you can use the calculator to get results. What you calculated manually, you can still use it, you can still use the calculator to get the results. So I was really interested. Then statistics is a course that some of the results you can validate. For example, by the time you are um, computing and you find out that your variance is negative, you know that you are wrong. When you are looking at probability values and you have values outside 0 and 1, maybe it's negative or it's greater than 1, then you know you are wrong. So I I became so much interested in statistics that when I had the opportunity, because in my first year I lost one of my parents. So I was told to my siblings now told me that I should come to University of Ibadan. So when I came to University of Ibadan, I had the opportunity to change my department. You understand? But because I've already had that interest, I didn't change and I continued up till now. And since then, I've been in this field. Thank you.
Dr. Alba, we would like to know from you who has inspired you to become who you are today.
Yeah, thank you. Um, yes, In my first year in the university, my first year was at University of Ilorin. I met someone who is Professor Samson Adebayo. Then he was Dr. Samson Adebayo. I met him because I had problems with my accommodation. When I entered as a young undergraduate student, I had issues with accommodation because we had two of us then. We had the same first name and the same last name. So when I was allocated a bed space, this other lady had already taken the bed space. Then there was no matriculation number yet. So they were just using our names to allocate the bed spaces. So by the time I got to the hostel, they said that another person from my department had already taken my space. So I had to go and meet my level advisor, who was Dr. Samson Adebayo then, and I complained to him. He now saw that, wow, in the same department, you people, you have the same first name, you have the same last name. And from there we started talking, and up to now, he's still my mentor. So later, um, when I transferred to University of Ibadan, I met so many people that inspired me, and time will not permit me to list all the names, but I want to mention someone, and that person is Professor Olusanya Olubusoye, who was my PhD supervisor, is indeed a father to me, and is a man of so many parts. So I can say that in this field of statistics, Professor Samson Adebayo and Professor Olusanya Olubusoye actually inspired me. Thank
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Alba, from the speakers of our previous shows, we have learned that the percentage of women in STEM careers are very few in their respective fields. Is it the same in your sector as well? How is the pattern in your sector?
you. Yeah. When we are talking of percentage of, did I get percentage of women in STEM? Am I right?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am, but we are particularly talking about the percentage of women in your sector, in your field,
In my
economics,
field.
statistics.
Yeah. We cannot talk of percentage of women in my field, in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, without making mention of percentage of women who are even educated. For example, STEM, my field, statistics, they are just subsets of women or females in education. And you find out that, for example, in Nigeria, we still have more than 20% gender gap when it comes to education. And definitely this will affect the number of women in STEM. This will affect the number of women in statistics. When I was an undergraduate student, um, my in my class of over 60 students, we had less than 20 of us that were females. And during my postgraduate program, in a class of maybe about 50 students also, we had less than 10 of us that were females. In fact, about four dropped out before the completion of our master's program. So, indeed, this corroborates what you said, that the earlier speaker had already said, that most women, we have fewer women in STEM than the male counterparts. You understand? We have so many females, so many males than females, which corroborates the earlier speaker that has already said. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Alba, when you were a student, did you feel any peer pressure because of being a woman?
Peer pressure. I cannot think of any at the moment. Maybe because I've been an independent person um, right from when I lost my parents. And um, during my undergraduate program, I stayed off campus because I couldn't afford to stay on campus. So I was always going to the school from home. So because of that, I can't think of any strong peer pressure gender wise. Although you find out that nowadays most ladies they are lazy. If you don't want to be intimidated in your field, you need to be hardworking. You should not miss lectures because when you go for lectures, you know the mind of the lecturer. You understand? You know the mind of the lecturer, and this will help you to prepare. But when you miss classes, you don't go for lectures, even when you have assignments, you don't do the assignments and so on and so forth. You find out that this course, whatever field you have, even if you know there are some disciplines that they believe that they are hard disciplines, even if you are in a field that you believe that you can still manage very well and you don't read, there will be problems. So to reduce um peer pressure gender wise, you need to be hardworking. You need to read. You need to read very well and read wide. In fact, in this age of technology, you have so many things to yourself. You have your laptop, you have YouTube, you have Google, where you can always make your findings about whatever course or whatever concept is difficult. So I can't say that gender wise, I had um, peer pressure. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Alba, if you can please tell us the most inspiring researches that you have been a part of.
I can't hear you. Please, can you repeat the question?
Ma'am, if you can please tell us or elaborate about some of the most inspiring researches that you have been a part of.
Okay, thank you. Research.
Yes, ma'am.
Research to an academic is just like blood in your veins. Research is exciting because whenever you are conducting any research, you have a problem in mind that you want to solve. And this problem, it can be that it's a new problem or it's an existing, maybe you have a paper and maybe you want to check, you want to validate the results, or you want to reject the results. So definitely you have something in mind that you want to do. So this makes research very exciting. Like I have over 30 publications. All my publications, they are still exciting to me because I had something in mind before I ventured into this research. But I want let me give you maybe one or two or some of the papers that I've written. And one is um, and that happens to be my first paper, a statistical inference in IFA divination, a dummy variable approach. Um, it was my master supervisor that gave me this topic. And when he gave me, I said, Ifa, what has Ifa got to do with statistics? Is there any correlation? For some of you that you've not heard of that, Ifa means the traditional worshippers. I am a Christian. What has statistics got to do with Ifa? And he now took his time to explain to me that, whenever the Ifa whenever he wants to make a prediction, in statistics we predict too, based on available data. Maybe we have data for maybe 5, 10 years, and you want to use it to predict future occurrences. And you now say that based on 5% level of error, okay, I want to present this result that based on these assumptions, in the next 20 years, this is what is most likely to happen. So when he gave me this topic, and now he now said, Ifa priest, whenever he wants to make a prediction, he will use his divining chain to make the prediction. This divining chain is, you have about 8 calories. These 8 calories, you have maybe 4 on the left side and 4 on the right side. So anytime is using the dividing chain to make a prediction. Maybe if you have um, maybe 2 calories turning up on the left side and the other two turning down, maybe having head or tail, you understand? That is an outcome. So if, for example, on the right side, you have two head up, two down, or maybe on the right side, you have maybe about four, that is an outcome. And in Ifa, they call it Apola Ifa. I'm so sorry, maybe you don't understand, especially those of you that you don't understand Yoruba. It is called Apola Ifa. Apola Ifa means Ifa couples. These outcomes will generate about 16. You can have 16 different types. So the 16 different types, maybe he wants to make a prediction on maybe someone will be wealthy. He wants to make a prediction, maybe a barren woman will give birth to a child. He will use this divining chain. And we have these couples. These couples, we have maybe Osa, Ogbe, Oyeku, and so on and so forth. So in statistics, we now change this to 0, 1, 0, 1 outcomes, binary outcomes, which makes it a dichotomous variable. And we are able to use our dummy variable to change this to 0, 1. And from this, I could get my incidence matrix and I could use it for prediction. And I got exciting results too. So just like the Ifa priest will use it for prediction, I was able to use statistics for this outcome. And funny enough, this paper, during my interview for employment at the University of Ibadan, the dean was so interested and he really drilled me that what has statistics got to do with Ifa? And I tried to explain to him, and he said I should make sure I publish the paper. And I did that. And eventually, I published the paper in Orisha volume. Orisha volume, or Orisha journal rather. Orisha journal is um, a journal that is domiciled at the University of Texas, USA. And the editor is Professor Tony Falola, and I was able to publish this, which happens to be my first paper. The second paper is that I want to discuss is geoadditive modeling of family size in Nigeria. We looked at in Nigeria is one of the most populous. Are you with me?
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am.
All right. Nigeria is one of the most populous countries in the world, and we're trying to look at what are the factors responsible for this. And we use our own statistical technique called the geo-additive modeling. And we found out that we had so many interesting results. And one of it is age at first birth. Age at first birth indeed affects the family size in Nigeria because, like I told you that um, when you said that what is the population of women in STEM, the percentage of women in STEM, you find out that so many females that ought to be in school, they are out of school. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Most of the ladies of the females that ought to be in school, they are out of school. And because of this, a lady maybe in who is 18 years old, 16 years old, already getting pregnant. So because of this, if a lady gets married at the age of maybe 30, by 35, 36, she's done with making babies. For a lady of 18 getting pregnant already, definitely there's higher likelihood of having 5 to 6 children. So age at first birth affects the family size in Nigeria. Also is the number of females in the household. In Africa, we still have this problem that most men, they want a son in the family. They want someone that will still sustain the name of the family, the heir of the family. And because of this, even if they have 5 girls in the house, they don't believe they have any child yet until they have a son. And definitely the woman will continue to make babies until they find out that is either they give up and they come to term that they cannot make a son, or they continue until they have a son. So we use the geo-additive modeling of family size in Nigeria to get this exciting result. And funny enough, this paper won me a travel grant, and I was able to a travel grant from the World Bank, and I was able to make this presentation at the 68th World Statistics Congress, which held in Brazil in 2015. So with this paper, I was able to make my presentation at the largest statistics congress in Brazil then. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experience with us. Dr. Alba, as long
Yeah.
as we are still on the topic of researches, during the coronavirus pandemic period, have you researched into any environmental factors that have been or could be helpful in battling the ongoing pandemic issue?
Thank you. During the lockdown, due to the pandemic, it was a period where so many of us as academics were able to rest, and so many fresh ideas came up. But I want to talk about a project which will start very soon. And it was during the lockdown that the UI LISA is University of Ibadan Laboratory for Interdisciplinary Statistical Analysis. This lab we try to um, develop build capacity of both statisticians and non-statisticians. Just like when there is no doctor, so also when there is no statistical expert, can you still do the small small analysis, data analysis on your own? And the UI-LISA is just an arm of the 2020 global network of LISA, that is Laboratory for Interdisciplinary Statistical Analysis. The UI-LISA director here is Professor Olusanya Olubusoye. And like in the flyer, you saw that I'm a senior collaborator with the UI Lisa. So during the lockdown, we won a grant. This grant is under teach fund from the USAID. So this grant, the principal investigator is Dr. Mrs. Adedayo Adepoju. I'm a co-principal investigator, and we'll be looking at one aspect is it one aspect of this is the pandemic on waste. We'll be looking at waste generation and so on and so forth during the pandemic. So very soon we'll be working with the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources in Oyo State to carry out this research. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Alba, as an economic and financial statistician, what would you say is the missing link in the economy and how can we fix it?
It is breaking, the net is breaking. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, as an economic and financial statistician, what would
Yes.
you say is the missing link in the economy and how can we fix it?
Oh, missing link in, yes. When you talk of missing link, indeed, we have missing link because um in the academia and people in the industries, they ought to be working together. That is, the town needs to meet the gown. The town needs to meet the gown. We need to work together. In academics, we have the internet. In the industries, they have the money. And um, any policy that we want to make, any policy that will affect the nation should be evidence-based, evidence-based policy, not just people coming up one day and saying that okay, we need to increase pump price, we need to reduce it, we need to start giving people 5,000 naira as grant and so on and so forth. So there is need for the town to meet the gown. We need to work together. There should be, whenever we are conducting any research, there should be funding for it, and we need money from the industries so that any research that is being carried out will be well funded. And also, when you are talking of, for example, when you talk of the pandemic, for example, in Nigeria, we still have a problem of what is our population figure? So our population figure, the last time we had a census was in, I think that was in 2006. And we've had three election, three elections in the country. The election is as constant as day and night. Whereas when it comes to census, they'll tell you there is no money. So how do you plan? How do you know the number of people that you are actually planning for? How do you make proper planning? How do you make policies that will cut across all sectors, that will cut across all ages in the country? So that we still have so many missing links. And um another one is the census program. We need the census program now. We don't need to continue to estimate and estimate. We are still using the 2006 figures to estimate what we are experiencing now. We need proper planning for education. We need proper planning for health. We need to know the number of out of school children. We need to know those who are, we need so many, we need to know all these figures. And we cannot know all these figures without a census program. Another missing link, another challenge that we are having is data integrity. People come up, we have our National Statistical Office, which is National Bureau of Statistics. We have this body that should be the sole office that will be releasing figures to us. But you find out that so many independent bodies, they are coming up with different values, different figures. And when they come up with these figures, there is no correlation there. You can't reconcile these figures. Maybe at national level now, they are telling us that the inflation rate is 20%. Another body will come up with inflation rate is 18%. Another body will come up with the world statistics, what is it called? World Data Bank will come up with another figure that population, the inflation rate is 14%. So you have so many figures that you cannot really depend upon. So for us to fix the problems in econometrics and financial time series, the first one is we need we need to work together with the industries. In academics, we need to work together with the industries. Also, we need census figures, census figures that we can rely upon. And the third one is data integrity, which we expect that it should be provided by our National Statistical Office. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Alba, do you think if more women come in the field of economics and statistics, economy can be a much better place?
Yes, as a woman, I'll say that teach a woman, teach a generation. When we have more women, because anytime it comes to science, we normally say, oh, no, we prefer men. We are not limited in our brain. It is our reproductive organ that differs. Our brain works the same way. So if we have more women in the field of econometrics, economic and financial time series, it will be better for us. We need more women. We need more women. Thank you.
Dr. Alba, we are very interested to know how does a typical day as an economic and financial statistics head looks like?
Okay, thank you. Um, um, Head of unit is not as challenging as head of department. The units, they are newly introduced, what's it called in my department, because in my department we have about 5 units. So in this unit, okay, I'm the head of the economic and financial time series unit. But in this unit, it is the head of department that is really working, because we have 5 units, and these 5 units, they are new, and at the moment, these 5 units, we are still looking at the 5 units at the um at the postgraduate level. So you know that the number of students at postgraduate level, they are not as many as the number of students at undergraduate level. So because of this, I will say that the activities that normally is often shared with the coordinator in each unit is not as cumbersome as the head of department. So oftentimes it is when we have seminar presentation, or maybe we want to compute results, that we really need to work in the unit. So it is not as tasking as the head of department. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Alba, as a woman, what are the challenges that you are facing in your career? A career that includes publishing several articles in both international and national journals, along with being a member of several professional bodies. What are the challenges that you face in your career? a career this elaborate and this busy.
Thank you. Um, Challenges, to me, challenges, it depends on the way you see challenges. Because maybe because, like I told you, I lost my parents when I needed them most, and because of that, have been independent for a long time. When we talk of challenges, I see challenges because anytime I look at some of the problems that have been able to surmount in the past, I don't really see any challenge as being insurmountable. But like you said, in my career, um, being a member of any professional body makes you feasible. You understand? It makes you feasible so that you are not a local champion. You understand? You are working with people. You understand? Just like technology has impacted my life positively. Because when I started my career about 2 decades ago, then there was nothing like laptop. Now that you even see undergraduate students moving about with laptops. Then in fact, when the department gave us a desktop, I was so excited because then there was no computer, you understand. But now, even with your phone, you can do so many things. So technology has really helped in my career to surmount so many problems because you have Google, you have YouTube, you can learn so many things. Even in the corner of your room, you can decide to lock yourself up to learn so many things. And it's a global village. What someone is doing in the US, someone is doing in Germany, you can see everything and you can learn from other people. And you know, being a career woman, being a wife, being a mother, have been able to manage these three because I have a supportive husband. When you are managing your own and you don't have a supportive husband, it's a problem. Because if you have a supportive husband, he will understand the challenges of your work. He will understand the demands of your work. He will understand when you need to go for conferences, when you need to go for lectures, when you need to do so many things. So, having a supportive husband, a supportive partner is very, very important in one's career. Also, like I do say, to me, being a woman has been a blessing to me. As a mother, as a wife, being a woman has been a blessing to me because anytime you see any opportunity nowadays, they will tell you whether scholarship, whether travel grant, whether um, grants or anything, you will see that they will tell you that females are encouraged to apply. So when you make your presentation well, when you present your work well, when you are in you are when you are articulate, when you articulate your ideas well, you find out that you have an edge even over others because females are encouraged to be in science, in technology, in engineering, and mathematics. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alba, for your kind and inspiring words. It has been a real pleasure talking to you. I'm
Thank
sure a lot of our girls and audience would have felt enlightened and encouraged by your words. I would now open the house for questions and queries to our
All
speaker.
right. Thank you.
If you want to ask any doubts or clear your questions and queries, you are free to do so now. Please unmute yourself. All right. So, as this talk show comes to an end, I would like to once again thanks Dr. Alba for her precious time today. I would also like to interest our viewers about our ongoing donation campaign and the international online store that we have. Our donation drive is on the roll currently, and you can make your necessary contributions by going to our African Girls Empowerment Network page or on Facebook and accessing our account details from there. The donation money collected will not only support our STEM Girls school club, but also bring the change on a much larger level. Other ways that you can get involved with us are by accessing our international online store, going there, purchasing any of our teas or STEM Girls merchandise, and becoming a STEM Girls ambassador, partner, donor, volunteer, and friend. The link to our store is www.agenetworkstore.com, which you can also find mentioned on our Facebook page. Please do check it out. We are expecting a huge support and response from all our viewers. On this note, I would like to bring this talk show to an end. Once again, thanking Dr. Alba for lending her time and talking to us today, and all the viewers for listening to us. Keep following us on Facebook and Instagram, and stay tuned for our other updates and talk shows.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
very
much
much for
and stay safe.
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, bye.